Hi, I'm Heather from Hale Booktubes, and today is my top 5 books of April. In April, I read 28 books. I DNF'd 19 of them, which means I finished 19. Of the 19 that I finished, I gave 5 stars. If you watch this every month, then you know that I typically have at least 10 or more 5-star books, which I then choose from for my top 5. But these ones, all the 5 stars made it, because that's all I had. So I'm going to start with The Cleaner by Jessica Gadziala. This is Professional number 9. This is my favorite of her series. It's the one that introduced me to her and I just adore it. The Cleaner is Finn, and he has severe OCD because of PTSD from serving in the military, and he is the cleaner for the Fixer Agency. So the Fixer Agency, basically, if you killed somebody, they'll take care of it. So if somebody was attacking you, all the things, they will take care of it. And part of that, of course, is removing trace evidence and DNA and signs of the struggle and all the things. So that is Finn's job, and he is very, very good at it. He needs to clean. It is compulsive. He has to have things clean. He's not a germaphobe, but he does have to clean, and of course his attention to detail is incredible. So that is his job, and he's very, very good at it. Well, Poppy is a true crime podcaster who lives locally, and she has caught on that several of the missing persons cases were abnormally clean. Either in their home or their last seen location was ridiculously clean, had a specific cleaning scent which you cannot find. It's like an industrial strength cleaner with a hint of mint, and she just doesn't know. So she thinks that there is a serial killer loose in Navasing Bank, and so she is actively working on this case while also working on the things that she covers on her podcast. The hacker for the Fixer Agency catches on that she has, been inquiring into these things and has caught on to the cleaner, and so she tells Finn, hey, she's on to you, and you just switch up your cleaner, change the scent, do what you can. And so he orchestrates a meeting with her and is fascinated and is just like, this girl, like, I went to get to know her. And he doesn't think that anything's going to come of it. He doesn't think because of his issues that he's ever going to be able to have any sort of relationship. He hasn't had anything in years and years and years. But like she doesn't care about his issues. She understands, and she's just, gracious with it. And they start to have a relationship, and he's just like, I'm gonna take whatever I can get. I know that she's gonna break up with me when she finds out that I'm the serial killer, even though I'm not a serial killer she's been tracking. But like, I'm gonna have this happiness. I'm never gonna have any happiness again. I'm gonna have this happiness. And so we get her podcast, we get her perspective, and we get his perspective, and it is so good. It's so good. I love them. I love their interactions. I love their sweet little family with their dog Yogurt, who has anxiety and is like not a great watchdog, and I just loved them. I of course love seeing the other people from the Fixer Agency. I always love seeing their cameos because I love them all. But I really enjoyed this. I thought that the true crime podcast scenario was super interesting and worked really well with what his job was, and I just adored it. I did. It was great. It's phenomenal. You should read this series, all 9 books plus the client, so like 10. But you should really, really, really do it because they are so good. Yes, you can read them all as a standalone, but like, I love them all, so it's hard for me to tell you that, but you absolutely could. You would not have any trouble following along, so I loved it. Crazy eyes. But it was really good. Then I have Getting Schooled, which is The Wright Brothers number 1 by Christina C. Jones. This is a college romance. She is the teaching assistant to her mother, who is a professor there, and he is an older student, and they are butting heads. They have the best banter that is like very much enemies to lovers who like understand that they're attracted to each other, but like they are not gonna take it from each other. Like their banter is really good. Christina C. Jones always writes phenomenal dialogue, whether it's banter or otherwise, but banter was so good. The hero is disabled, and I really loved their dynamics. I love their relationship. I really enjoyed reading about their families also, and I am definitely looking forward to continuing with the series. I should tell you that there is a content warning for loss of a parent. They both actually have lost a parent. She has lost her dad, and he has lost his mom. But it was a very cute enemies to lovers. Then I have Rush, a Rockstar Daddy by Brianna Hale. This is a Rockstar romance, which I'm not super into celebrity romances, but I did like this one. And it is a daddy romance, so he's a daddy dom, and there is a kink of humiliation and slapping and spanking and name calling and things like that, because that's what she is into. It's not necessarily what he's into. He's into like the spanking and stuff, but like the humiliation stuff is for her. And he's older, and she had a terrible experience with the Rockstar who kind of ruined her career, and so she doesn't want to have anything to do with it, but he convinces her to do the choreography for his new music video, and they have a romance. The enemy Rockstar plays a big part in it. It was really good. Kink is doesn't go too far for me, and I thought it was well done and steamy and all the things. And this is the book pick for the Taboo Book Club that Library of Tomes, Temecka, hosts on her channel every month. It is the book pick for May. So if you want to read it, it's available on Kindle Unlimited, and it was a good time. I think that even if you're not into daddy doms, you might still like this. The humiliation isn't that much, but it does start on like the very first page, so maybe be aware of that. But I liked it. Then I had Maybe One More Time by Christina C. Jones. So yes, another book by Christina C. Jones. This is the third in her Vegas Nights novella series about 3 siblings. And this is an older woman, younger man. He is the president of a motorcycle club, and she sells motorcycles, and they have like animal magnetism going on, and he is a kinky fella. There's some serious kink in here. It was good. It was good stuff. I can't remember all of it. It doesn't go way far, but like there's like BDSM kink elements. I liked it. I liked that they had a kind of happy for now. I like this whole series. It's great novellas. I just loved every single one of them. So I would recommend reading all 3. The first one does have a definite content warning for miscarriage, as that it's a pretty big focus of the book, not just like a passing comment. But all 3 were phenomenal, and I adored them, and yeah, just loved. Then lastly, I have Huck, which is Golden Glades Henchman #1, also by Jessica Gadziala. So 2 books by Jessica Gadziala, 2 books by Christina C. Jones. It is what it is. Those were my only 5 stars of the month. What do you want from me? I tend to try to just pick 1 per author for my top 5, but that's not the way this month worked out. And honestly, they're in my top 5 a lot. I love them. I love their books. They're some of my very favorite authors. So what are you surprised about? Nothing. So Huck is the president of a motorcycle club, but he just started a new chapter down in Florida, and she is his new neighbor. She has a severe phobia of cars because of trauma from a car crash, and she it's awesome. She's a streamer, and she does video game streaming, and she moved in next to the motorcycle club, and of course they're suspicious of her because what if she's a plant by one of the enemies, and she also has seizures, so that does play a part in the book. I loved that he was like pretty protective of her right away, even though he was a little bit suspicious of her, but still protective right away, you know, wanted her to be okay. And I just loved it. I love her books. I always love the dynamics between the couple, whether it's a really prickly heroine or a sweeter one or an alpha male or a cinnamon roll. It doesn't matter what it is. I always enjoy the dynamic between Jessica Gadziala's couples. I feel like she nails it every single time. She matches them so well. You feel like these are 2 people who actually love each other and work together, even if they're polar opposites or maybe not. Whatever way she does it, I think she always pulls it off. If you like mental health representation, a prickly heroine, and a hero who, regardless of his personality, will always kind of do whatever it takes to make his girl happy, I love her books. I just do. So there you go. Those were the top 5 books that I read in April. What was the best book you read? I only had 5 5-star reads. How many do you typically have, or how many did you have in April? Obviously, some people have like 5 5-star reads a year. But for me, I do tend to rate pretty generously, and if I feel like I loved this book, and there's not like one big, and there's not like a major thing where I'm like, this was an issue for me. If I loved the book, then it's probably getting 5 stars. I'm not stingy with them. But at the same time, I do feel like my rating scale is accurate. Like, you know, like not everything gets 5 stars. It doesn't matter. These books were great. I recommend the authors. I've read and enjoyed many of their books for all 3 of the authors that were in my top 5. And yeah, let me know how many 5 stars you tend to give. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!